Did you see that, Brian?
He ate it right there. I could have
I was
netted
looking
him.
at my bait. He's taking drag too
I
now.
told you before long we had to have one that would follow it to the boat. I can't believe he ate it right underneath of that trolling motor though. That was pretty funny. It scared me about as bad as it did you.
Yeah, gave me a jump.
That's a classic rock bite though, you know it?
Yeah, top water happens like that a lot.
Oh yeah, to follow it right to the boat in the last second. They say
Looked like when he grabbed it, he didn't have, but yeah, he didn't have it the tail of it.
He's pulling drag too, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he hadn't.
Grady White Boats' reputation for designing ruggedly elegant fishing boats is legendary. Our attention to quality, detail, and customer service is unmatched. From our Fisherman 180 and Coastal Explorers series to the unrivaled Canyon 456, you'll find no boat that rides better and offers more fishing amenities. Go ahead, experience fishing at its best. Get the Grady.
Hello, welcome to the Carolina Outdoor Journal. Well, today's program is going to take us to a tributary off the Albemarle Sound. We're going to be fishing for some early spring stripers.
That's right, a great early spring trip for striped bass, some of the fish will actually be making the spring run later in the season up the Roanoke River, which, as everybody knows now, the Roanoke River over the last 5 or 6 years has become one of the best striper rivers on the whole east coast of this country. But these are fish that are pre-spawn, just getting ready, starting to feed up a lot. The water temperature is still kind of cool. It's mid-March. We had an overcast day, which made it a little cooler, but we'd heard the fish were biting, and we got in the boats and went and tried it and caught some fish.
What about that bait we used that day?
Using baits that replicate the bait fish, the shad and the herring that are around that time of year, and the fish were on, and you're fishing it up close to shore in some structure, so you got to be careful, and you'll lose some baits occasionally, but carry a number of extra lures. We'll talk about that in gear time, but had a lot of fun.
It was, and Donna's with us today in the kitchen. She's got a recipe for game bird today.
That's right, on skewers.
Yes.
It's a different recipe from her, and if you like game birds, whether they're quail, doves, chuckers, pheasants, pay attention.
All right, we got a lot going on today. Let's get started on the Carolina Outdoor Journal.
Tell you what, Kurt, overcast, sun pokes through every now and then. Pretty March morning, isn't it?
It sure is. I like a little bit more sun when we're doing this, give more flash to these baits.
That's
I
right.
believe that rock likes it shiny. But this time of year, this is the first nice really fish you can catch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's good for
Oh,
shad,
yeah.
which are fun fish to catch, but you're talking about something putting in the pot.
Well, we started off, I like the way we started, and we kind of did it both thinking on the same lines as you throw one bait and I'll throw another. And just, see what the activity level of the fish is and kind of see what they're going to bite, because both of us can switch real quick, right?
That's right.
I'm not too proud to let you catch the first one.
Well, it's a pretty day, no wind.
No, they're calling for rain this afternoon, but I think we're in good shape right now. It's about 40 degrees last night at home. And, sometimes in cool nights and this full moon we got.
It's been a cold spring.
It has, it really has. I think we're a couple weeks behind, don't you, on just about everything?
At least a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Bradford pears are just starting to
Gotcha.
bloom.
That's a good way to tell too. The pear trees
They're
and the
before
dogwoods can pretty much count. You can pretty much set your watch by what the fishing world is going to be doing.
And the pear trees are about 2 weeks before the dogwoods.
Yep.
Maybe as much as a month this year.
That's pretty neat. Well, we'll keep snatching on this old jerkbait. See what happens. Oh, jerked on that bait a many times this morning, Kurt, before we finally got a bite.
Feel like a decent fish?
Yeah, he's pretty good. They're slow getting
Edible?
going. No, well, he'll be a keeper
Yeah, let's
probably.
not break off that bait.
He's gonna be right there at it, maybe. On the old road.
Yeah. What's your fingers there?
Yeah, plenty of trebles in there, isn't it? Plenty of treble hooks in there.
About 18 inches. Not what we're looking to keep, but
No, like them over 20, 21 inches is a good little eat size.
for the fish
Pretty
day.
fish. For the morning, I'll take him.
There's one for the Rattling Road.
That's right.
Good
Well,
job. He's a healthy fish.
if I catch a couple more, you'll probably be ready to switch, won't you?
That's right. That's why we're fishing 2 different baits.
That's right. See, buddy, he's chunky, he's healthy looking. See, buddy.
Perfect lines in him, isn't there?
Yeah, man.
All of them, no broken lines.
Right, yeah, these are healthy fish up here. They're eating good up in these river systems like this. Good gosh, that trout pole's got a bend in it, don't it, Kurt?
Mm-hmm.
He stuck that rattle trap. He stuck that thing.
It felt good.
Looked like a pretty good bite. I'm gonna come in right behind you.
Actually,
sometimes...
it was a long cast at fooled.
Was it?
Yeah, I was way out there when I hooked up.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, that's good. See, because I was just thinking about it, the fact that I might not be fishing as deep as you are, and the fish activity level, I feel like the fish are probably going to be a little deeper than what I'm fishing.
I started fluttering this bait a little bit too.
Did you kind of
instead
yo-yoing, whine, and let it fall? Oh, that's a better fish there too. That's a pretty good one. Let's see if I can help you out a little bit. I think, about 10 foot of water now. We've been fishing up there in 6, 7, 8 feet the whole time. Kind of eased out with the wind. Hey, that's a good fish, man.
Yeah, we'll take him, won't we?
Yeah, I got a good idea that you got plans for him down the road, don't you?
Yeah, I like it when
He ate it pretty deep too, so be careful. Look how dark he is. Yeah, man, it'll work.
Nice fish. Yeah, he sucked that thing in, didn't he?
Like one of them herons he's been eating up here.
That's a pretty fish.
You couldn't have done that any better if you tried.
I tell you, he's not as fat as that one you caught.
No.
Is he?
Sure isn't.
What do you think?
Longer fish.
What do you say, 22 inches?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, I think we might do a little better than that for today. It's still early.
It's up to you, man.
We're gonna let
Totally
him go.
up to you. He won't let go of you though, will he?
Might ought to be fishing with thumbs.
Whoa.
Well, I was trying to give him a good shot in there.
Pretty work.
That was good, good.
Pretty work. I think we might have been missing a towel. You might have to use your pants leg.
I've done that before.
I have too. You can get it spun back around here on that spot.
You know, that was what, the first or second bait when I changed colors? First or second cast.
It was the second cast, I think. It was a real long cast.
I casted that other one for a mile, all the way down that bank.
The whole way down the bank and never had a bite.
2 casts on that one. Brian, one reason I feel like these fish are here, and they'll probably rock here year round, but I feel like this time of year at the base of the Roanoke River, these fish are staging in preparation
That's right.
to go up the river and spawn.
Yeah, I think a lot of them will come up in these, there's river systems on the north and south side of the Albemarle Sound. And fish will come up here following the herons and stuff in these rivers and feed up real good. And I think, of course, not all of them are going to spawn. I think that's scientifically proven that the whole population of rockfish can't go up that river at one time.
That's right.
But they come in here and stage. That Albemarle just holds so many striped bass, it's not even funny. But this is a fun way to catch them this time of year.
When a rockfish hits a bait,
You know it.
yeah, he's not fooling around.
This is just such a pretty setting with all the cypress and the black water. You'd almost think we'd be bass fishing, but we're not. We're catching old rockfish. Oh, there he is.
Come on, man. What are you doing there, man?
I believe he's gonna try to get in the boat in the stern back there, ain't he?
No, I believe you got control of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just a second.
Not quite as big as that last one you caught.
Not supposed to be, is he? Steering right over here.
It's funny because you come out of fishing them in the ocean all winter. And
They're
you
so
come up here.
big.
Yeah, but it's all relative. I mean, size down the tackle and everything. What do you think, Kurt?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's not the class fish we want,
Yeah?
but it drew a little blood on him. He's liable to not survive. I think we probably ought to keep that fish.
He's about 20 inches. So.
He's a keeper, but we were looking for something bigger. But
Well, I'd
yeah.
rather know that he was going to serve a purpose than to throw him back
I agree.
and wonder about him
he's
down the
he's
road.
a nice fish. Good
All
fight.
right, good enough. Good enough.
Right, it's still a little cool this morning.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's probably about 40 when I left the house, so it can't be much over 50 now. If it is over, I mean, it's still cool.
It's supposed to get up to 70. It's been mighty overcast today.
I don't see 70 without that sunshine, do you?
I don't either. I believe with this dark water like this, it's been a late spring, but I'd like that sun to be out some, warm up that water a little more.
Yeah.
I think our activity would pick up pretty quick.
You know, it's funny in the fall. I mean, I like, I don't know, you tell me if you do, but in the fall, I like a falling water temperature. And in the spring, a warming water temperature.
I'll go along with that.
Yeah, cold fronts in the spring will kill everything. But
And by the same token, in the summer and in the fall, I like a cloudy day.
yeah,
But the day, I'd rather see it warming up. I'd rather have
I
that
think
sun
it would
out.
make a big difference if it warmed up a little bit for us. You know, if it's, like you said, overcast or something, you throw in top water baits and the water's hot, overcast makes a big difference.
That's right.
But
It'll make it happen a lot longer.
you take a morning like this, I think activity level picks up when that water warms up just a hair. Because it's been a late spring and a cool late winter. It was really cold this year.
Did you see that, Brian?
He ate it right there. I could have
I was
netted
looking
him.
at my bait. He's taking drag too
I
now.
told you before long we had to have one that would follow it to the boat. I can't believe he ate it right underneath of that trolling motor though. That was pretty funny. It scared me about as bad as it did you.
Gave me a jump.
That's a classic rock bite though, you know it?
Yeah. Top water happens like that a lot.
Oh yeah, to follow it right to the boat in the last second. They say
It looked like when he grabbed it, he didn't have, but yeah, he didn't have it the tail of
he's
it.
pulling drag too, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he hadn't.
Yeah, when you catch them that close sometimes, you got to let them play out a little bit. Hold that net and I'll lift him out of there for you.
All right.
I think it's gonna be easier to get him off and we'll worry about the bait in a minute.
All right. Need some pliers.
Man, you couldn't have hooked him any better. You got him handy. It's a pretty fish. Right in the corner.
You know, one thing I noticed about that fish, see how perfect his lines are?
Yeah.
A lot of the fish we're catching at home have broken lines, particularly on that lower white side. There'll be a couple of joints down out.
Yep, and you know what I think? A lot of that stuff on that side of the sound down there is some hatchery fish where they stock them every 3 years or whatever it is. And these are pure strain fish.
Wild fish, never.
Yeah.
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 I've heard that. Well, he's a
Got-
pretty little fish.
That's some
Got a leech in him or something, hasn't
sea lice, yeah. Sure does. Pretty work, pretty work. Ate it right at the boat. That was a nice surprise.
he? You hooked up?
Yeah, he ate it on the paws again. I mean, just,
Fishing a little slower?
yeah, just bumping it, letting it get down and bumping it back to me. And he ate it, he
He's
wants to
going
go underneath
around
the
back
boat.
of the boat. Is he
Yeah.
gonna need a net on him, you think? Or
Let me see what we got here.
got some
Got
pressure on
him
him?
pulling.
That'll be a little better fish, ain't it?
I don't know. I think it's the same one I caught a while ago, just
He
following the
looks a
boat.
little bigger to me. You want me to net him for you?
Nah, I believe we can get him here. He's doing the death roll. As long as he don't death roll right into my finger. There we go. Now we're making progress. That might be the best one I've hooked in about 2 years.
Now he's got some broken lines on him.
Sure does. We had talked about that earlier. Look at that right there. You know, I don't know if that, you know, I mean,
It probably don't mean
that's
nothing.
not broken. Sometimes they say stress does it.
I can't
And some, you know, some different genetic stuff. I can't keep up with all the biology of it, but it's got them on both sides. I love that purple color in them. You see it?
What it does prove, it's not the same one.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
You see that bite right
Yeah.
there?
Good bull.
I was talking to you and paused it one time. It's not a big fish, but
Yeah, it's 20-inch fish, ain't it?
oh yeah. Yeah. We can do this like the professional bass fishermen do. I had one day, Kurt, on a rattle trap. I got about right here, and that fish shook her head at at Man's Harbor one day, and the treble hook went in my thumb right there, and it was not very pleasant, but
I've been pinned to a fish before.
healthy little fish, man.
Yeah.
That's one, 2 pound, 2.5. We were talking about the average 2 to 5 pounds. That's a 2 pound fish.
We've caught 2 or 3 about that size, but the rest of them been a little bigger.
Well, I've caught 2 or 3 this size, and the rest, So what
Okay.
you've caught's been a little bigger.
I appreciate that.
I'll give you that today anyway.
Well, we had a good day of fishing. Early spring stripers, always fun.
Always fun, and again, you're kind of getting the jump on the guys and gals that are fishing, waiting for the fish to come up the river. Not all these fish that we caught today would have gone up the river to spawn. This, you know, but some, a good percentage of them do. But March, water's still cool. Fish a little slower. We're fishing up close to the bank, and these fish are in there feeding up. I think prior to the spawning run, and we just had a lot of fun.
Well, let's talk about what we used to catch them that day. Let's join our anglers now for gear time.
Brian, that's a pretty good day fishing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had to work for them a little bit this morning, but
That's
it was
right.
good fishing.
When we started out, we knew that might be the case. And I started out throwing a rattle trap. And you actually started with this Smithwick Rattling Rogue.
Rattling Rogue, it's been a great bait for you. Since they came out, people have been striper fishing with them up
That's
here
right.
for years.
It's a suspending bait, which means that it stays mid-depth in the water. You can jerk it and it stay there.
Yeah, and it'll pause, and that's what's nice about it. That's what, you know, even at the end when I changed baits, I was able to jerk it down and pause it, and the bites were coming on the pause.
When I initially started fishing, it was a rattle trap, which was pretty much a consistent retrieve, and it's a little faster bait. When I finally started, once you caught a fish or two, I started taking this bait and making it flutter a little bit.
Like
jigging
a
it, letting it
yo-yo,
drop.
yeah.
Yo-yoing is the term they use,
Yeah.
that's right. Caught a few fish doing that with it,
Yep.
but eventually I switched to something similar. It was actually a, what was it, a Lucky Craft Pointer.
Yeah,
I've lost it now, but one reason it was good, this bait has a lot finer rattle in it.
real fine, real
One-
light rattle.
One thing we talked about, that other Lucky Craft bait, bigger balls in it, it kind of had a louder noise to it. But both those were probably the primary baits during the day, I would say.
Yeah, they were great baits. You know, I switched colors and went from the chrome and blue, which is a all-time favorite for
That's
just
right.
about anybody striper fishing, and went to something with some chartreuse in it, and something that's also a suspending type bait. And this one actually dives a little bit deeper than the Rogue does, and it worked great. Caught a few fish right at the end on that bait. Of course, one thing, you know, the difference the way we were fishing today is I was fishing with a spinning rod with, I was actually fishing 10-pound test, but it's a stout, you know, real abrasion resistant monofilament, and I think it made a difference. You can see the shoreline, man. It's just, I mean, we knew we were going to be fishing around some stumps today.
That's right.
But that little bait caster had a good action. You were able to, you know, throw that little rattle trap, and I think that worked out real good.
One good thing, in my opinion, with a spinning rod, when you have a little bit of breeze around, you're better off throwing it into the wind in a windy day.
Correct. That's right. That's exactly
You
right.
won't have much trouble with backlashes. However, on the other hand, the bait caster is a lot easier on you. The way the weights
Yep.
distribute on top, jigging with your left hand, that'll kind of wear you out. And I heard you mention it a time or two.
You know,
the bait caster,
my hand, when you're jerkbait fishing, you're doing a lot of snatching and pausing, and it will fatigue your hand, and you can switch up. I switched to my bait caster for a little while. Yeah, it's been overcast all day. Kind of didn't know if the fish were going to turn on, but it was cool last night and a full moon. The fish, to me, never really turned on that good, but
That's right.
we fished hard and we caught some fish.
That's right. We were hoping to be 70 degrees and the sun shining to warm up this dark water. Didn't
It
happen.
didn't happen.
But we still got dinner to put on the table, had a good
Yeah.
time. And a rock in this class, fishing with 10-pound tasters,
Oh yeah.
spinning rods.
Yeah.
It's a good fight.
It was
Just
it
fun.
was a great morning. Had a good time, man. Hadn't fished with you in a while, so we'll have to do
It's
it
good to see
again
you.
real soon.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Me too.
Thanks, guys, for that valuable information. We hope that it'll help you if you plan on going out for some early spring stripers. Now, Donna's in the kitchen. She's got a recipe using game birds as we continue on with the Carolina Outdoor Journal.
Hi, today we're going to be making game bird skewers in the kitchen. This is a great recipe and it has a little bit of an Asian flair, so that's kind of nice and a little bit different than what we're used to be making in the kitchen. We're going to start out with a marinade and we're going to make that in the blender, and you're going to put all your ingredients. You're going to put your orange juice, your coconut, we're going to put some cumin in here and blend that all together, and then we're going to take our duck breast that we have filleted out. We're going to cut those into strips, and you want them to be fairly thin, about as thick around as your fingers. And then we're going to place those in our bag. And I like to use the disposable bags just because it's easy cleanup. So we're just going to place those in here. And I just wanted to show you that's what it looks like. And then you just, we just took off the back right here. This peels right off. And then we cut it into strips. So we're going to let this soak overnight or marinate overnight, or at least 2 to 3 hours. The longer you let it marinate, the more flavor will be absorbed into your duck breast strips. So you can use this recipe you can grill it, or you can use a broiler, depending on what you have. I use my broiler at home, but if you are out and you want to use a campfire, or you want to use your grill, I think that would add a lot of flavor to it as well. We're going to take our skewers and we're going to soak those. If you're using the wood bamboo skewers, you want to let those soak for at least 30 minutes. That way when you put them over the coals or underneath your broiler, they won't begin to burn while they're cooking. Or you can use, I know that we have some thinner metal ones that we use at our house. So once our strips have marinated, we're just going to pull those out, and we're going to skewer these kind of accordion style. So you're just kind of move them back and forth onto your skewers. And I put 2 or 3 strips on my skewers. And what I did when I was broiling mine is I went ahead and fixed my broiling pan, and then I used a cookie sheet or a cookie rack, and I lined it with foil. Then I put my cookie rack on top, and then I went ahead and put mine into the oven so that it would get nice and hot, so I'd get a little bit of some seared marks when I put my skewers on there. And then it only takes about 3 to 5 minutes to cook these. So once you have them skewered, I just laid mine across my cookie rack, and then I put these in the oven for about 3 to 5 minutes until they're golden brown. And if you're grilling about the same temperature, you'll have some nice grill marks on yours. And then we serve it with a sauce, and it's a peanut cashew sauce. And you're going to use cashews and applesauce, peanut butter, and some soy sauce, and you're going to blend that in your blender as well. And it's a thick sauce, so if you want it to be a little bit thinner, I would use less peanut butter or add a little bit more liquid to it to make it a thinner sauce. And then I'm just serving mine. As you can see, they're nice and secured on there. I just put some peppers on there to add some color. You can also put some red bell peppers on these too if you want. They would cook about the same time frame. And here's your dipping sauce, and some sunflower cornbread is always a good accompanying dish. So I hope you enjoyed the game bird skewers, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Simple Cooking.
Thanks, Donna, for that recipe. Joe, I want to go back to the river and talk about the weather conditions that time of the year.
Yeah, the March is known as a transitional month where you have a lot of wind and cold fronts are still coming through, so you may have cold, like we did that morning, cold temperatures in the morning. It warms up a little bit. That day we had overcast, which I think helped us because the fish were in fairly shallow water. So you're going to have to pick your days to go. And where we were fishing, it's pretty open, so you need a pretty decent boat. But the fish are there. They're feeding up heavy for the spawning season coming up, and lots of bait, and just use the right tackle, lures that we showed you today, and you'll catch fish.
And another good day of fishing in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
For Joe Albee, I'm John Moore. Thanks for joining us today on the Carolina Outdoor Journal.
Make sure to visit our website for more information.
Grady White boats are known for uncompromising quality through exceptional attention to detail. On every model, from 18 to 45 feet, we incorporate exclusive features and quality components that you won't find on any other boat brands. Our exclusive CV2 hull design is ranked highest in every third-party survey done in the marine industry. So every day on the water will be a great day, no matter the conditions. Ask any Grady White owner and they'll tell you, get the Grady.